Hey you all, this is Brian and you are watching the Dark Age channel.
As preppers, we like to chat about the whole stockpiling deal, and what you'd need really depends on the specific scenario you're getting ready for. So today, we're diving into the stuff you'd want in a long-term survival situation. Things that'd be a real pain to find when things go south. Now, let's kick it off with hunting and home protection tools. When it comes to prepping for the long haul, you definitely want to get your hands on gear for self-defense and hunting. It's a no-brainer that ammo is a top priority. But if you're into archery, don't forget to stash away arrows, bolts, broadheads, and all the odds and ends to keep your gear up and running. Think cleaning supplies, spare parts, and any special tools you might need to tinker with your gear. Side note, there's this super cool crossbow pistol called the Ballista Bat Reverse. It's really powerful and has a very small footprint due to it being a pistol-sized crossbow. The best thing about it is you can purchase a magazine, which makes it an auto-loading crossbow. Primitive light sources. Sure, LED lanterns, flashlights, and batteries are must-haves for everyone. But here's the deal. You'll want a backup plan if those fancy lights go kaput, you run out of batteries, or your rechargeables give up the ghost. Candles are the go-to for most folks, and they do come in handy in many situations. But here's the rub, they can be a fire hazard, and you'll need a bunch of them to shed decent light. Using multiple candles at once also increases the risk of accidents and fires. So if you're going the candle route, make sure they're far from anything flammable. Sturdy candle holders that won't tip over are a smart choice and will keep your setup safe. Now, when I'm using candles, I like to keep them snug inside a candle lantern. But here's the catch, these lanterns can get pricey if you're not making your own oil lamps. That's where hurricane lanterns come in, and personally, I prefer them over candles. Most of these bad boys can run on paraffin lamp oil or kerosene, so stockpile a good amount along with extra wick material, which you can buy by the roll. While they might not shine as bright as modern LED lights, they still get the job done. Just remember, you'll need more than one, especially for larger spaces. But whether you're dealing with flames or heat sources, always keep fire extinguishers handy. You never know when accidents might strike, and it's best to be prepared. Water filters. Now, let's talk about water filters. There are various options on the market, such as those offered by Zero Water and Berkey, but keep in mind that these filters have a limited lifespan. Some last longer than others, so it's crucial to calculate how much water you'll be processing and then stock up on replacement filters accordingly. Grail purifier bottles are another reliable water treatment system, but they also require replacement filters. If you own one of these, ensure you have extra filters on hand. They might not be suitable for large groups or families during an extended survival scenario, but they can be incredibly handy when you're on the move and need a quick, dependable method for purifying water. Consider Sawyer filters as well. While they may not remove as many contaminants as some pricier options, they're cost-effective and can work well on their own, especially if you live in a remote area with less concern about chemical or viral contamination. Clothing. In a world where things wear out, you won't be running to the store for replacements. So, what you have must be durable and of high quality to withstand the test of time. But that's not all. You need spares too. Long-term survival situations often mean more movement and manual labor, which can take a toll on your clothing. So, having extras, especially essentials like socks, underwear, and shoes, is a smart move. Consider stockpiling materials for clothing repairs and gear fixes, like backpacks or sleeping bags. Having an abundance of thread and extra fabric for crafting patches can extend the lifespan of your garments, ensuring your pants and gear remain serviceable for much longer. Don't forget a diverse selection of sewing needles for tackling different materials. First aid. You'll want to have these on hand, and the most common ones include isopropyl alcohol, hydrogen peroxide, and povidone iodine for wound care. Povidone iodine is a top choice because it won't hinder the healing process, unlike hydrogen peroxide and isopropyl alcohol. However, there are scenarios where you should steer clear of it, like deep puncture wounds and burns. If someone has iodine sensitivity or renal disease, both isopropyl alcohol and hydrogen peroxide can damage tissues, making them less ideal for wound treatment. But don't write them off entirely, they have other uses too. Hydrogen peroxide, for instance, works great in your ears to prevent or treat infections. and it's handy for surface disinfection when diluted. You can even use it as a mouthwash. Now remember, never ingest isopropyl alcohol. It's a big no-no, but it's useful for prepping injection sites, disinfecting items like thermometers and tweezers, and even in alcohol stoves for boiling water or cooking. And there's more. Don't forget to have some braces or splints on hand. Minor injuries like sprains are bound to happen sooner or later, and you'll be glad you're prepared. Fire starters. Fire building skills are crucial. You'll need them for cooking up grub, boiling water, and of course, staying toasty. Now, disposable lighters are the easy way to go, but remember, they'll run dry sooner or later, so stock up on several. Zippos are handy for occasional use, but here's the catch. They're fuel hogs, so not ideal for a set-and-forget kit. That said, they shine when you want to ignite a flame, and keep it going without risking your thumb. Now, don't forget to snag a bunch of ferro rods. They're keepers. These babies keep sparking as long as you've got something to spark them with. And for emergency situations, you've got to have some backup fire starters. Consider making a bunch of Vaseline cotton balls. They're budget-friendly, easy to store, and make sparking a fire a breeze. Keep a stash at home, and toss some into kits like your get-home bag or trusty bug-out bag. Medications. When it comes to stocking up for extended survival scenarios, focus your efforts on medications, especially those that treat and prevent infections. In severe survival situations, basic utilities and medical services might go out the window, creating the perfect storm for easily preventable and treatable issues to spiral into bigger problems. Even minor wounds could turn into major health threats. At the top of your list should be antibiotics. They work wonders for treating wounds and infections. Thankfully, services like Jace Medical are around, hooking you up with legally prescribed antibiotics from legitimate pharmacies. Don't overlook triple antibiotic ointment and similar products. They're gold for preventing infections, soothing discomfort, and speeding up the healing process for minor wounds. You'll also need various types of bandages to keep wounds clean. Think band-aids, gauze, and butterfly bandages. Now let's talk symptom control. In a long-term scenario, gastrointestinal problems are likely to rear their ugly heads, and if you're not careful, they can lead to dehydration. That's where loperamide hydrochloride, also known as Imodium, comes to the rescue as an excellent anti-diarrheal. And then there's Pepto-Bismol. It's a multitasker, treating diarrhea, nausea, and other symptoms. Plus, it has a neat trick up its sleeve. It can wipe out bacteria chilling in your stomach. But remember, it's a no-go for kids under 12 and teenagers with flu or chickenpox symptoms. Turns out, chemically, it shares some similarities with aspirin. Gardening tools. When it comes to shovels, it's smart to have a range of sizes for different tasks. Small trowels are perfect for planting in your garden, while those military-style folding shovels do double duty, great for moving soil and mulch into containers. Plus, they're multi-purpose tools, so that's a win. When it's time for some heavy-duty digging or shifting large amounts of stuff, full-size shovels are your go-to. And you can't forget about rakes. Leaf rakes are your garden's tidy-up crew, while bow rakes are the workhorses. They spread soil and mulch, tamp down soil, and handle weed removal or clod breaking like champs. But hold on, there's more in the gardening arsenal. You'll want a trusty garden hose and a mattock. And don't overlook axes and hatchets. They're the MVPs for processing wood, especially for fires and other survival tasks. Now, when it comes to choosing these garden tools, don't be shy about splurging a bit if you can. Quality tools are built to last, sporting sturdy handles and better materials. And since we're talking about the long haul, you should also have some dedicated survival tools in your stash. Food. When it comes to stockpiling food, your goal should be to maximize your supplies while spending as little as possible. Look for options with a lengthy shelf life to ensure they remain edible over time. Some items that stand the test of time include salt and sugar, which can last indefinitely, and they double as valuable barter items in times of need. Dry goods like pasta, rice, and beans can maintain their quality for at least a couple of decades when stored in mylar bags with oxygen absorbers. If you have anyone in your group with food sensitivities, consider storing alternative grains like quinoa to accommodate their dietary needs. Handyman tools. While I'm a big fan of power tools, let's face it, they'll wear out over time. And if you're rocking cordless tools, those batteries are the Achilles heel. Once they start losing juice, it's a rapid decline. Now, let's talk about the good old hand tools. Take, for instance, the trusty handsaw, a staple you can find at just about any hardware store. But here's the kicker. You need different ones for different materials. Wood saws are a given, but don't forget to snag a hacksaw and a bunch of spare blades. Now, when it's time to drill those small holes, turn to the classic hand drill, also known as an egg beater. Pro tip: go for the ones with beefier gears. They can handle those larger drill bits. Oh, and consider grabbing some drill guides if you need to bore super precise straight up and down holes. Don't forget about the basics though. Hammers, screwdrivers, and wrenches are essential tools in your arsenal. Being able to construct things and make fixes when the situation calls for it is a crucial part of self-sufficiency. And that can only happen if you've got the right tools and know how to wield them. Items for trade and barter. When preparing for a long-term survival scenario, it's a smart move to stockpile some barter and trade items. A useful guideline is to acquire items that are inexpensive now, but could become highly sought after during a crisis. Additionally, it's preferable for these items to have a reasonably long shelf life. Luxury items tend to be a wise choice for bartering. These can encompass various products such as soap, feminine hygiene products, and even certain food items like coffee. Most instant coffee available in stores is already freeze-dried, making it suitable for long-term storage. While it may not match the quality of fresh coffee, in an extended crisis, people will appreciate whatever they can get. As you go through this stockpiling process, you might realize that some items are missing from this list. However, chances are Jen and I have already covered them in our other videos. If you want to explore additional items to stockpile for various emergency or survival situations, be sure to check out those videos. Thanks for watching and God bless.